Hello, all you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. Tonight we are on round 7 of Lobstercon. I'd like to say it's live. It was recorded live. That should count for something. Here we are a couple months later, putting the stream together and slinging it out. We have Pez. He's on the top. And we have Brian. He'll be playing from the bottom of the screen. Let's take a look at their decks. And here's a look at Pez's deck. Fun fact, if you hang out with Pez long enough, he'll hook you up with a patch, an old school patch. But here's a look at his deck. He's calling it, everyone's calling it mono blue shops. He didn't need to bother with all the other colors in Magic the Gathering. He's sticking with the brown things and the blue things. Of course you need the blue for the power. To get far in this tournament, I think you do. You need the Ancestral and the Time Walk, Brain Geyser, Mana Drain. He didn't even need Time Twister. He's like, no, Time Twister didn't make the cut. It should only be Power 8. He doesn't abide by the Power 9. So cut Twister, threw it in the bin, and then copy artifacts, Sage of Latniums, Psyblast for direct damage, and then he's got his robots. Got a whole team of robots. He's got the Jugs, the Trikes, the Suchis, a couple Icy Manipulators. One badass Icy Manipulator looks like it's hailing from the Ice Age era. And then, of course, Shops needs to power out this stuff as quick as possible. So we got the workshops, we got the factories, we got all the brown mana, a bunch of islands, and that's it. Blood Moon doesn't scare him. Nothing scares him. He's monocolored blue. His board's got 2 clay statues for when he needs to regenerate. A couple Hercles in there to call back all his artifacts or send his opponent's artifacts away. Control magic. 2 relic barriers. They're really good at tapping down artifacts. 4 psychic purges. Those are super good at when your opponent's making you discard your hand. A couple counter spells for the just in case scenarios. Blue Elemental Blast to finish out the board. So nice looking deck, Pez. Let's take a look at his opponent's deck, Brian. And here's a quick look at Brian's deck for the Lobstercon tournament. It is 4-color black. This deck typically does very well. It's called 4-color black because it's got everything but green, but black. It's got at least 4 cards that need the 2 black pips, the 2 swamps, to throw it out there. But he's running Sedge Trolls, Hippies, Pump Knights, Sinkholes, Hymns, A+ on the Soul Canar. I'm sure that thing goes running out of there after game 1, just because all the Red Elemental Blast and Blue Elemental Blast, they can just destroy that asshole on sight. But if you get Soul Canar out, you're going to gain some life off him, more than likely. And then 5/5 Swamp Walk, just about everyone's playing the Black Splash, minus Pez here. But about everyone's playing the Black Splash for Mind Twist and Demonic Tutor. And if you can't throw a body in front of that 5/5 beast, you're going to die pretty quickly. He's got Swords for removal, a myriad of dual lands, and then all of the goods cards down below that you need to win in old school Magic. In his board, he's running 1 disc for Board Wiper, an extra Sinkhole, Energy Flux for those shop decks, a couple extra Fireballs, Red Elemental Blast, City in a Bottle, Armageddon. Armageddon does a really good job to kick the door shut once you have the board presence built up. A couple Disenchants, Divine Offerings, and 1 extra Plains. That must be for the Blood Moon decks. So, nice looking deck all around. I'm playing something like this in the Winter Derby. I think Brian did better with his than I'm doing with mine. But I've said enough. Let's move on to the games. And here we go with game number 1 for Lobstercon round 7. Pez won the Running with Scissors competition, so he gets to play first. Fires down an island and a Lotus. Lotus is immediately going to the bin, followed by a Juggernaut, turn 1. That's kind of a pain in the ass. But his opponent has the immediate answer, Swords to Plowshares. Get that shit on out of here. Pez is going to run up to 25 life. As he moves into his second turn. Finds another island and a Pearl. The glare is outstanding on this match. Brian finds a second scrubland, taps 2, and sinkholes one of the islands. Pez shows up with a strip mine and a pass. Oh, Brian finds a city brass and parlays that into a hippie. And Pez says, no thank you, side blast. Makes sense. He'll lose a couple life from the side blast, hop down to 23. That hippie can be devastating, that's for sure. Pez strip mines off the City of Brass. Taps 2 for a copy artifact. Copying out his Mox Pearl. New City comes in play for Brian, followed by an Ancestral. That's pretty good. Always a fan of 3 extra cards. Brian plays out a Sapphire and just a pass. Pez finds his first Workshop, but nothing to follow it up with. He's only got 2 cards in hand. Yeah, draw go portion of the game. Not a whole lot of activity going on here. Factory coming in. Cracks in for 2. Pez is back down to 20. He's tapping 4 though. Has another Juggernaut. Ooh. Brian taps 3 for a Sedge Troll. And Pez knows that's going to be deadly, so mana drains the Sedge Troll. It's going to have 3 mana on his turn. Probably a good idea because those Juggernauts do not stand up to Sedge Trolls very well. Yeah, Jugs comes in, but he takes 3 mana burn, can't do anything with it, and trades a factory for it. So, I mean, you do want your opponent's factories gone, but losing a 5-3 to a factory doesn't feel super great. Here comes the other surviving factory in for 2. Pez drops down to 15. Brian's still holding tight on 18. And he's tapping a bunch. Tapping 5. Yeah, 5. Untapping 5. Here comes Solkanar. Love it. Five Beast of a Swamp Walker's out. 5/5s are tough for robots too. Factory's coming in. Pez is activating his. They are trading factories. Solkanar's coming in for 5, dropping Pez down to 10. That 5/5 wide body, not a good sign for Pez. Pez does come up with a Sage. That's a way to draw a card or 2. Brian just said, "What the hell is that thing?" Swords to Plowshares happens. Followed by Fireball for game number 1. So Brian takes out Pez with a Solkanar and a Fireball. These two will swap some cards out and move to game number 2. And here we go with game number 2. Pez is on the play again, as he took the beating for game number 1. Workshop, Sapphire into a Juggernaut, much like game number 1. But he does find the workshop for turn number 1. So again, real threat of 5-3 big wide body breathing down your neck. Brian finds a Pearl. You have a Swords to answer it with. Nope, nope. Scrubland and a Disenchant. Pez finds a Island and a Time Walk. New Island, followed by Triskelion. Yeah, that's pretty good. 4/4 body with machine gun arms. Ready to start shooting people in the face at any given time. Brian's tapping 2 for a Hymn. Oh, look at that. Pez is losing a copy. And Ancestral, that is tough. 4/4 body comes in, and followed by another Triskelion. Hitting the board. Brian takes the first damage, drops to 16. Pez doesn't have a hand. But he's got 2 4/4 creatures down. They can also represent another 6 damage to the face at any given time. Brian's tapping 3 for his Sedge Troll, leaving 1 black open. Oh, Pez shows up with an Icy, taps down the Sedge Troll. That doesn't feel good. Cracking in for 8. Brian's going to drop down to 8. And again, Pez is still holding 6 counters that he can start slinging at any given time. Brian doesn't have it. That's game number 2. Pez takes it down with the robots. We are 1-1. Some quick magic going down. And here we go with game number 3. Plenty of excitement. Brian's on the play for game number 3. Starts off with a C and a Mox Pearl into a Time Walk. Way to start. Badlands into a Hymn. Ouch, that's tough. Not quite as bad as a turn 1 Mind Twist for a bunch, but eating 2 cards is pretty good. Oh, he loses an Emerald and an Island. 2 mana sources. Does play an Island followed by a pass. Brian's got another Hymn. Ouch. This is starting to hurt. He grabs a Trike and a Sage of Latinam. Wow, 4 cards already in the bin for Pez. Grabs a Workshop into another Juggernaut. I think that's his favorite creature to play first. And that's also Brian's favorite creature to destroy first. So Juggernaut straight to the bin. Barely even has time to take a breath on the battlefield. We have the Factory cracking in for 2, followed by a Hippie. Pez is down to 18. He took first blood. Brian's still on 20. Taps 2 islands. Untaps them. He's staring at the life total. Maybe he's having a hard time seeing through the glare himself. Oh no, he plays a Soul Ring. Followed by a Copy Artifact. Takes a point of mana burn. Drops to 17. I guess that makes sense. He doesn't want to lose cards to the Hippie. Might as well dump him out. And here comes the attack plan for 4. Pez dropping down to 13. And look at this sinkhole on the shops. Good thing he played out all those Soul Rings. He does rip a Factory of his own and slams it into play. So he does have access to 7 mana, enough to kick out all those robots of his deck onto the playing field. He's out of cards, and here comes Factory and Hippie in for the beatings. Has taken another 4, dropping down to 9. This is not looking good. Brian's applying some pressure. Pez top decks an island, but he does have a valid blocker with that Factory now. That can pump itself. Here comes the Hippie again. Pez is down to 7. Brian's tapping 5. Brain Geysering himself for 3. Drops a Jet onto the board. Pez tapping 6. Here comes a Triskelion. He's got the hairpin rocket arms ready to shoot off. Willing to do some hippie murdering, I'm sure. Yeah, here comes that hippie. 2 to the face for the hippie. The anti-aircraft rocket arms on the hippie, on the trike. The hippie gets shot out of the sky. Brian's tapping 3 more. Followed by a quick untap. He's going to play a Sedge Troll, just not sure on how he's going to do it. Here he goes. Alright, Sedge Troll's out. Plenty of black mana to regenerate him. And of course that Sedge is a 3/3. Yeah, Pez tried to keep some cards in his hand. Brian says none of that and throws another him at his face. He does only grab Mox Ruby. And here comes Sedge Troll crack-a-lacking in for 3. Pez is dropping down to 4 life. Needs something big here, or he's going to have to start throwing bodies in front of that Sedge bus. Oh, Brian's got a sword for that trike. Pez is going to gain 2 and go up to 6. Sinkhole on the Factory, that does not feel good. If you're Pez, Brian's cracking in for 5. Pez has got something. Oh, Side Blast for the Factory. So Pez is still going to take 5, but he answers the Factory. Sedge Troll may be a problem for him here, as he's down to 1 life. Needs to top deck a creature. There's an Ancestral. One way to try and get back in this game. Finds a Factory. That's a body blocker, and comes up with another Juggernaut. Yep. Why not send the Sedge in? Pez is on 1. Jugs goes to the bin. Sedge gets regenerated. Brian's tapping 3 for another Sedge Troll. And that is it. Wow. Congratulations to Brian, taking it down 2-1. Nice work on the day. As always, thanks for watching The Orb. stick a bonus game in behind this video. Why not? I don't know who's playing, what decks they're on. We'll find out about the same time. We'll call them Tim and Bob. Tim throws down a Taiga. Bob answers back with an Underground Sea. Plenty of pretty dual lands getting thrown around today. There's a Volcanic, followed by an Argothian Pixies. 2-1 that doesn't take shit from artifacts. And Bob's playing Tundra. Tapping 2, untapping 2, reevaluating. Decides to just pass, and here comes those Pixies in. Crack-a-lacking in down the street for 2. Bob's down to 18. And Tim's firing off his Ancestral. Not 1, not 2, but 3 cards to the hand. Picks one up for his draw. He fires off a Demonic Tutor. Bob finds his favorite card in his deck, plays out a City of Brass. Here comes a Lightning Bolt flying from the other side. Bob drops down to 15. Tim discards a Divine Offering. Pixie's cracking in for another 2. His opponent drops down to 13, and he finds a Loa, followed by a Chain Lightning. And a blue blast to crack back with. So Chain's countered. Oh, we got a regrowth on a Lightning Bolt followed by another Lightning Bolt to the face. Bob's down to 9 but drawing a new card for his turn. Tim's still on 20, and there's a Workshop. Yeah. Taps for 3 colorless for brown things. Deciding whether he wants to use it or not. Just played it out. Might as well tap it. There he goes. Tapping 4 for Jugs. 2 more, he's going to take a point. Mind Twist. Eats up an Urnum. Does drop down to 8 in process for tapping that City of Brass. Pixies can come in unabated, and here they come. Down to 6 he goes. Jugs is cracking in for 5. Tim drops down to 15. Workshop's getting used again. For an Icy Manipulator. So, unfortunately, our Argothian Pixies does not have protection from artifacts, so that Icy is a real thing. Pixies are getting tapped. And just a pass back. Factory's entered the board, and Jugs is cracking in for another 5. Tim's dropping down to 10. Bob's on 6. Ooh, he about just tapped 6 mana. I wonder if he has that trike in hand. Yeah, tapping 6. Untapping 6. Tapping 6. Here comes Triskelion. Seems like a pretty good threat. Does Tim have a follow-up? He's going to shuffle his cards for a minute and find out. Pixies are getting tapped down. Tapping 1 to drop a Soul Ring. Looks like he's tapping 3. Got Side Blast on the Juggernaut. Probably a pretty good play there. He's going to lose 2 in the process, but he's not going to take 5 next turn. That's tough, though. Your opponent's down to 6 life. One more burn spell would finish out the game. But you have to use it on one of those big bodies. And here comes a copy artifact on the trike. That's game. Workshops wins.